Hi, this section will discuss about interfaces. So what is an interface? Well, basically it is a contract that outlines protocols, rules to follow. It is also a reference type, just like a class, which means it is a specific type like posting or movie or string. Now, interfaces cannot be instantiated, which means you cannot create an object out of an interface. And it can only be implemented by classes and extended by other interfaces. Which means it's like interfaces also have inheritance, parent and child interfaces. So a good example is found in the reading in the tutorial about these computer controlled robotic cars. So there's an API that exists between the automobile manufacturers and the guidance instrument manufacturers. So this API is or are the interfaces. The automobile manufacturers construct or design these interfaces to outline the details of methods for the guidance instrument manufacturers to use. Without these interfaces, then you'll be very chaotic for both parties to work on this software. So the example of an interface is outlined here. This interface is called operate car interface, which is obtained from the tutorials. Now the syntax of the interface is the keyword interface. So if you look at the public, it is outlined with a public interface operator, operate car. So normally for a class we will use public class, name of class. This will be public interface, name of interface, in this case operate car. Now an interface will have methods, but all the methods are empty. There are no braces, they terminate with a semicolon. Example, if you look at the turn method, public integer turn will have all the signature of the methods, just like any other normal methods, but it ends with a semicolon. It does not have any body. There are no instant variables and only constants. So this is the outline of an interface. So this example of Honda is a class that implements an interface, or we call it an implementing class. So the syntax will be public class operate Honda implements operate car. So basically this particular class is specific class for the Honda cars, but it is implementing the interface operate car. Hence, it needs to abide by the contract that operate car is outlined. So hence, it needs to implement the turn method as well as the change lanes method. Both methods they exist on the operate car interface. So this, if you look at them, they're just normal methods, which has the if you look at turn method, for example, it's a normal method, but it has a body, right? And this body is returning a zero integer. It does something and returning something. So this is how you implement and use an interface, using a class to implement an interface. So why do we use interface? Number one, is useful because it sets a contract or a protocol, a set of rules for different groups of programmers to follow. Without this set of rules, then the different groups of programmers will have a harder time to be organized and to be in sync with each other. And number two is control. It gives the owner of the system control over the implementations that use the system. Number three is encapsulation. It hides the implementation only expose what is necessary. Why is this important? Because it ensures copyright, it protects trade secret. How you implement the code is not important, or in other words, it should not be exposed to guard your the way you do things. You only expose the interface. So as a summary, an interface is like classes. They are reference type also, but unlike classes, interface can only contain constants. Interface can only contain method prototypes. Basically, their methods do not have any body, they're empty bodies. Interface cannot be instantiated. They can only be implemented by classes and extended by other interfaces. An interface can inherit from or extend many interfaces, unlike classes, which can only inherit or extend one parent class. Most important though, interface provide a contract. Classes that implement interface must implement all its defined methods. Okay, let's do an in-class exercise. Now, let's create an interface called posting interface. And in this interface, there are three abstract methods. The first one is called clean text. The second one is extract sentiment. And the third one is print. Now remember, in an interface, these methods end with a semicolon and they do not have any body. So next thing after that is to update the posting class to implement this posting interface. Alright, so let's go to NetBeans and implement the interface first. Let me see, I'm gonna do a new Java interface. I will call it posting interface. Click on finish. Voila, so I have an interface. So this particular interface has three methods. Let's see what they are. If I go back to the PowerPoint, there are three methods in this interface. The first method is clean text. The second one is extract sentiment. The third one is print. Let's do clean text first. I can actually just copy from here. Come to go to NetBeans and paste it. Public void. So this will be a lowercase public void clean text. So that's the first method. These are called abstract methods because they don't implement anything. They don't have any body. So remember that interface only has extract methods. Second one is this one. We'll do the same thing. And the last one is public void print. And we are done. So this is the posting interface that has three abstract methods. First one is clean text, the second one is extract sentiment, and the third one is print. Again, remember that methods in interfaces do not have any bodies. They end with a semicolon, but they have the same signature as the method that will implement this. So our next assignment is to update the posting class to implement posting interface. So the next thing to do is to implement or update the posting class to implement posting interface. The way to do this is just to go to posting class and use the keyword implements and type in posting interface, and it's done. It's as easy as that. Now, the implication of this action is basically that now the class posting will have to implement the three methods that exist in posting interface. These three methods. All three methods must be implemented in posting class, which they are. The first one is clean text, must have the same exact signature. The second one is extract sentiment, and the third one is print. You can have additional methods in class. In this posting class, it's fine, but those three methods must be implemented. Suppose I change one of the methods here. Suppose I change clean text and then add in one more parameter. So what will happen? Say author, just for testing. So will this work? If I do a save, it will not work because the signature of clean text is different from the signature that has been specified by posting interface. Because this clean text only asks for one parameter, which is string title, whereas the posting now have updated this to have two parameters. One is title, the second one is author. So this breaks the API, this breaks the interface. So when you run it, it will throw an error. This marks the end of our little session on interface.